Hey everybody, welcome back to the Wolf Pit with another episode of What Are We Eating? The What Are We Eating series videos are meant to show you, the people, exactly what is in cheap, highly processed foods, or in some cases, gross foods, and to show you that so-called bargain foods from discount stores are certainly not a bargain at all, and in some cases, buying fresh foods or higher quality foods costs the same or are cheaper than the crap discount highly processed foods that, in my opinion, shouldn't even be considered food. In most cases, you can make a good, decent meal for the same price or less with fresh or higher quality foods than you can with stuff from the budget stores. There's a link right up here to a playlist of budget meals that'll feed your family for $10 or less. If you want to see more budget-friendly meals, let me know in the comments and hit that like button. So for today's video, I'm trying Festive's white meat turkey loaf with gravy and the dark and white meat turkey loaf with gravy. Unless we're talking about a meatloaf or a loaf of bread, the word loaf should never be used when describing a meat product. It just screams for meat slurry concoction. So let's see if these turkey loaves are any exception. These two 32-ounce turkey loaves cost $4.18 each and come ready to roast with gravy and pan included. The white meat turkey loaf with gravy is made with white meat. Thankfully, they emphasized the white meat turkey loaf was made with white meat. Otherwise, we would have probably never known. White turkey is the first ingredient, but then you get to the second ingredient, which is a 30% solution added, followed by modified cornstarch, which is a binder, which ends up holding the four meat slurry concoction together. Then you look at the ingredients in the gravy, and you would think anything with turkey and gravy, the gravy would more than likely contain turkey broth or at least chicken broth. But not in this gravy, there's not even a mention of broth. Per container, there's 6 3-ounce servings of roast, which means out of the 32-ounce package, the loaf weighs 18 ounces, and the remaining 14 ounces is broth-free gravy. So that works out to be 56% loaf and 44% gravy, which means out of the $4.18, you're paying $2.34 for the loaf and $1.79 for the broth-free gravy. But what's even worse is with the 30% solution added, there's really only approximately 26% turkey, which works out to be $1.09 for the turkey and $1.25 for the solution. So in the end, you pay more for the added solution than you do the turkey. That right there is how these businesses make money and rip us off. Per 3-ounce serving with 3.5 tablespoons of gravy, there's 130 calories, 5 grams of total fat, 1.5 grams of saturated fat, no trans fat, 40 milligrams of cholesterol, 790 milligrams of sodium, 5 grams of carbohydrates, no fiber, 2 grams of sugars, and 15 grams of protein. The 32-ounce Festive turkey loaf with white and dark meat is made with white and dark meat turkey. Again, I think we're all smart enough to figure that out, but Festive felt the need to tell us. The ingredients are exactly the same except the added dark meat and the solution is only 26%, which makes perfect sense because dark meat has more fat, which gives you less need for additional moisture. The white and dark meat turkey loaf has 170 calories, 10 grams of total fat, 3 grams of saturated fat, no trans fat, 60 milligrams of cholesterol, 770 milligrams of sodium, 3 grams of carbohydrates, no fiber, 2 grams of sugars, and 16 grams of protein. So let's get these out of the boxes and onto a baking sheet. And you leave everything wrapped up just the way it is right out of the box. Then they go into a preheated 350-degree oven for 2 hours and 30 minutes to 2 hours and 45 minutes, or until it reaches an internal temperature of 165 degrees. That's right, 2.5 hours to 2 hours and 45 minutes to cook these seem way too long for me, but we always try to follow the directions. After 2.5 hours, we pulled them out to check the temperature, and they were both already over 200 degrees. So Festive's R&D department needs to get their crap together instead of just putting it in aluminum baking pans. When we first took off the cardboard cover, it didn't really look too bad. But it didn't really have any aroma to it either. We scooped it out of the pan with a spatula, and it certainly didn't look nearly as promising at this point. We cut it up into serving pieces, and after the first slice, I noticed the inside looked just like chef's requested steak and chicken burgers, which was not a good sign. I was hoping it would at least look as good as the baked turkey spam. Gravy can fix a lot of things, including my mother-in-law's meatloaf, which seemed damn near impossible. So hopefully, it'll at least make this white meat turkey loaf edible. The coagulated fats and proteins certainly made this gravy unappealing. But I must carry on and try it, for you, the people, so you don't have to. And the gravy side of the slice certainly looked better than the non-gravy side. When I took a bite, it didn't really have much flavor. But the little bit of flavor it did have was familiar, but I couldn't really figure out what it was. The texture was airy and a bit dry, and it wasn't nearly as dense as most foreign meat slurry concoctions, but it was still spongy. Definitely something I would not prefer to eat ever again. Now we'll try the dark and white meat turkey loaf. I wasn't really concerned too much about the presentation, but when I poured that gravy out, it made me think of people who might buy this to feed their guests, and then this pours out. Oh, the horror! Could you imagine pouring this out in front of your guests and saying, "Dinner's ready"? And this one looked even more unappetizing than the all-white meat turkey loaf did. Who am I kidding? This looks like crap with pus on top. I can guarantee you nobody's going to fight over this like they do a drumstick at the holiday dinner table. Now if you look at this closely, the loaf is in two parts. See how the white meat is here and the dark meat's here? When they said it was made with white and dark meat turkey, I assumed they were mixed and combined together. But no, they're separate. And to be 100% honest with you, the people, I didn't even notice until I was editing this video. And you can see where the white meat piece is on top and the dark meat is on the bottom. And unfortunately, you'll see here when I cut the bite, I unknowingly cut the dark meat off and unintentionally tried only the white meat, which explained why they both tasted exactly the same. I'm human, I made a mistake, but honestly, I couldn't see the difference when I was filming this video. I'm a big fan of dark meat because it has more fat and moisture, which in the end gives you more flavor. In this case, I'm not 100% sure it would have really made a huge difference. Actually, I'm pretty sure it wouldn't have made a huge difference at all. So even though I cooked both the 100% white meat loaf and the white and dark meat loaf, I really only tasted the white meat portion of both. So I can only judge what I tried, and the white meat portion of the festive turkey loaves was simply bad. But the dry, airy, spongy texture combined with the bland flavor and salty gravy made it a pretty bad example of good food and the perfect example of a highly processed foreign meat slurry concoction. I found it simply inedible and not worth the $4 it cost. If you'd like to help support the Wolf Pit, consider being a patron. You can pledge as little as $1 a month, that's only $12 for the whole year. Or you can pledge more, that's up to you. Either way, every little bit's appreciated and helps me produce more high quality videos more often for you, the people. Thank you all very much for watching. Please don't forget to like this video and subscribe, and I'll see you soon.